every year the same.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want you to help me confirm if you can hear my audio.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So, as usual, today is the fourth day of this 5-day tech event. So, for today, we'll be discussing about UI UX. Yeah, so basically, what UI UX is, who a UI UX designer is, and how anyone can get started with UI UX. So we have a speaker on board already, but as usual, we want to wait a couple of minutes more for some more people to join. So in about 2 minutes, we would kickstart the session and we'll get started. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining this call. It's a pleasure to have everyone here on a pleasant Friday. So I'll be moving on to introducing our speaker, who he is, and what he does, and what he's going to do for us on this call. So our speaker for today is Enike Brimo. So Enike is a student of Federal University of Dutse. He leads the DSC chapter in his campus. So basically, he has a DS in his campus also. So he leads the DS in his campus and he's doing a good job. He's an Android developer and he's also a UI UX designer. He loves communities and technology and basically everything that can be achieved through technology. So he's on this call already, and I would like to give him the opportunity to introduce himself and start the session. So, Brimo.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm audible enough. Please let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, perfectly audible.
All right, okay. Ahmed has already done a little bit of introduction, but let me quickly share my screen before I start. Okay, sorry. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen perfectly.
All right, okay. So good afternoon once again. I'm Enike Richard Brimo. I'm a student of Federal University UC, the current DSC lead for my school. I'm a UI UX designer. I'm an engineer at Stack on Stack, and I'm also an Android developer there as well. I love developing Android apps. So I'll try to speed things up for this section. So what you will learn in this module, you will learn about color theory, typography, fundamentals of user interface, and fundamentals of user experience as well. So first things first, what do you understand? Like what do UI UX actually mean? What do UI in UX mean and what do UI actually mean? So UX starts from user experience and UI as well is for user interface. So user interface is just basically UI, how buttons are placed and placing buttons at the right place actually, like where buttons are being placed, and UX actually mean how the user interact with those buttons and how convenient the user is with the placement of those buttons and things in your UI on the screen basically. So how easy it is for the user to interact with your UI really matters a lot. So okay, I already spoke about UI, what UI really is. So like it's your user interface, like your buttons, your screen, everything basically you place on your screen. Um, your should I say pictures, images, how you place them on your screen. Is it can user really see them? Are they visible enough for users to see? What information are you passing exact? And your colors really matters. What colors you're using, the fonts you're using on your screen, can they see it? Is it clear enough? Yeah, things like that should really matter when you're talking about UI design. Then for the UX design, so that's user experience. So this really talks about how your user interacts with your the UI you've already designed or a particular area. So like for example, if I place a button at the top right corner, sorry, top left corner of my app. So things like this come into place like okay, how easy is it for my user to interact with my UI without holding um phone with both hands? Like should I you don't really want to stress the user, like the time really matters. The time you user spends on your app trying to interact with your UI really matters. So you don't want your user looking for buttons like okay stress, like okay, normally when I'm chatting, like I love using a single hand to chat with my phone, like I would love that. Maybe I want to go back on in my back button to, okay, maybe to go back, I need to switch between tabs and all. So I don't all those things really matter to users. So I don't want to um choke my UI with so many things and make them confused. Or maybe for instance now, if it was let me take for example an app that was supposed to maybe an app to go to toilet. Yeah, let me just say to locate the nearest toilet around you. So you don't want maybe your user, maybe you put an onboarding screen, maybe you put a login screen into the app again. No, all those things are going to discourage them. Let me say for instance I was pressed or something now. Okay, I really need to go to the toilet urgently and I'm in an unknown location. So you don't need to start you don't expect me to put you don't need to put onboarding screen, put login screen, all these things are going to discourage me. Like I'll be like, okay, so you mean I have to go through all this process just to go unite myself? I'll just rather do something else. So all those things really matter in user experience. So who is a UI UX designer? So most people confuse UI UX designer with graphic designer. They are completely two different things. I hope I'm not moving too fast. Please let me know if I'm moving too fast. And I
I
hope I'm still
think your
audible.
pace is enough.
Sorry?
I think your pace is good.
All right, okay, all right, thank you very much. So, people confuse UI UX with graphic design. So, I actually started as a graphic designer. I did graphic design, not as if I was a graphic designer, but I was doing graphic design and all. And I felt okay doing graphic design. I should be able to do UI UX design at the same time. But no, that wasn't it at all. So going to UI UX design, as a UI UX designer, you need to really think about user experience, like I said earlier. So graphic design, I could mix colors. The same being a graphic designer, you still have to think about colors, about fonts you use, like okay, how the user if I see this design, is it appealing to my eye and all. So, but you still need to, but in UI/UX design, you need to think about how the user is going to interact with that particular screen. Like, would this keep me working with your app? Would this keep me on your UI? Would this be okay? But I say, okay, is this would if users interact with this particular year, would they be able to would they be able to go around? Would they be able to know what they're supposed to do? Like, for example, there was this time I made a form for people to fill their bank details and their name. So I gave a field. There was a field for bank name or like bank name. So some people there were filling the name of their bank, and some people were filling the name they used on their bank. I don't know if you get me. So like you're using, let me say for example, the name of your bank is let me say UBA, and the name I'm using on my bank is Enike Bremo. So some people are putting Enike Bremo, some people are putting the name of the bank as UBA. So these things really matter. So you trying to passing the right information to your user really matters as a UI UX designer. So don't confuse UI UX design with a graphic designer. You really need to think about how your users will interact with the UI, like making them more convenient. See, each second your users spend on your UI really matter on your app or whatever you're building, designing for really matters a lot. So you need to make the user really comfortable. Giving them exactly the right color is still matters. I'll come to that later on in this module. So okay, so let's go to the fundamentals of digital design. And for fundamental of digital, we have typography and we have colors. So you're coming up with design A and design B, but it's now left for your client or whoever you're designing for to pick between both of them. But the main thing is you providing the design for them. So we're talking about color theory and typography, how colors affect people's mood, how to pass in the right information with your fonts and all. All right. So like I said, color theory. So different frequency of red invoke different moods in people. Like how to combine different colors, how to use different colors, and in which situations. So like let's take for example red. We have different colors of red. So let me say when I was in primary school, we could say red. Like if I'm using red, I felt red was just red. There's no other red. Like if I'm using red, I didn't know it. Sure, I think I'll use a deeper shade of red, like a different color, dark or something. Yeah. So we have different shades of red. So there's we have red, the country red, the secret jam red, and white. So if I'm using something mature, like something for adults, I'm going to build something like design something for adults. I'll use this wine red, like this very a darker version of red. Now, how mood attributes to different colors, different colors. Now, if I should use red, I'm still using red for example. If I should use red on my UI, you should know, okay, you seen that UI for the first time, like you looking at that, taking a glance at that UI, you get that feeling of, okay, is this going to be something relating to love or energy or that anxiety or so. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So if I'm using red on my UI, you should know the information you're passing to the users. Like, okay, okay, when I see the UI, when I see red, I know, okay, this is it. This is what that intensity and all. Then for yellow, it gives out joy, attention, happiness, creativity, and it's very attention grabbing, especially for your it's really good for your app icons, yeah, on especially on Play Store. So I can't really swipe through list of apps on Play Store. And if I see yellow, like it's really, really attention grabbing, I can't see yellow and I can't say I didn't see a yellow icon. It's really going to be hard. Like it's really attention grabbing. And you could scroll through icons, like a lot of icons on Play Store, like a lot of apps there. So using yellow, you don't use yellow for your user interface, like for your main background. It's going to like it cause attention fatigue. Yeah, it's like me staring at a white, just like me staring at a white background too long. Yeah, your eyes start paining you, stuff like that. Yeah. So, but most times you use yellow for your app icons and something just a particular place to just draw attention and all. Yeah. So I can't really go through the whole colors, but on their meaning. But red, when you're using red, you should know, okay, maybe excitement, represents strength, love, energy. Then orange, confidence, success, bravery, sociability. Yellow, creativity, happiness, warmth, cheer. And green, for example, yeah, and everybody should know when you see something green, it's fresh, stands for freshness. Like most times they use green and green colors in maybe all this food delivery. So let me just say food, for example, nature. You see anything agriculture, you see people using green, 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 and blue. I actually took a picture of. I was walking through the mall yesterday, and I saw a picture of. I saw this. Let me call it pharmacy, but the blue. Like when I saw the blue, it gave this feeling and impression of stability. Yeah, that feeling of comfort. Like I was really like, okay, there's peace here. Like I actually felt that stability. It was not actually a pharmacy, but like just they were selling drugs and things. When you see place, when you see something like that, okay, wow, like this is cool. Like the blue was really stable. Like this is for stability and all. Then pink, clarity, sweets. Purple, royalty, luxury, ambition, and all. Then brown, we have dependable, rigid, simple, trustworthy. Then black, I use black for a lot of things. Then security, dynamic, and white for clean, simplicity, and let me see, honest. All right. And I'll go to my next slide. I think I'm done, a little bit done with colors. To know when to use the right color, not just using maybe building something for let me see, for health. Now you can't expect me for building something for health. Okay, maybe where people come, like let health insurance or something. You can't expect me to use red there. Like it doesn't give that feeling, that impression or mood. It doesn't give them that mood of like, okay, this is something stable. It gives that, maybe should I say, danger, yeah, that excitement or energy and all. All right. So I'll move to the next module. The second fundamental of digital design, that's typography. Using the right fonts, um, knowing when to use some kind of fonts, not just using any font at random. So the first thing that should come to your head is like, okay, there are so many fonts. Which one should I pick from? So um actually shorten this I actually had to shorten this module because there are a lot of fonts and a lot of things to talk about fonts. But since you're just getting started and know your right foundation, where to start from and all, so I won't really give you too much information and all, because too much information you could just like, you would really be misled and all. So I just want to tell you where to start from and what you should do, so you don't just get so many information and you don't do anything, or maybe you just do the wrong thing and all. Right. So in like font really matter, like font. So take for example this design. Now I just made a little design. Now the top you could see the top one, this top picture here. I use this font. I use the red. Yeah, you should know, okay, this is something relating to love and this design. So what do you think about these two designs now? The same color, the same message, but different fonts, and you should know the kind of information you're passing with that particular font. So you see, this looks looks like, okay, I'm going to kill you or something, like, okay, you always been mine. It looks evil, like, okay, with the blood stain and everything, but still the same font, still the same information, but sorry, still the same color, still the same design, but different font. So font really matters. Font really matters in your UI UX design. So the next slide, I'm going to show you different common errors people make in design. Common errors people make in design, when you should know when to use the right font. I believe you should use, if you're designing, use a font that is readable enough to the user. So whenever the person looks at a particular UI you design or something, you should know, okay, this is the message you're trying to pass. Not just using anyhow font, just saying, okay, I'll just use this font because it's nice. So I really recommend you use Google fonts. Like, there are a lot of fonts out there, but major thing is make your fonts readable. Like, there's this saying, is it visibility? Is it visibility? Readability really matters a lot in UI UX design. All right. So identifying common design errors. So this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying earlier. You see this part. You see this picture and this one. So I could read this more than this. Like this text is not standing out here. So I'm trying to pass in this picture. I'm trying to send an information of this picture and the font at the same time, but the user won't be able to see this font. Sorry. The user won't be able to see that font there. So that's why we made that's why I had to make the font stand out by adding adding that layer and making it adding the color to that layer. So the picture, at least I could still see the picture and I could still see the text standing out of, to make text stand out of the picture and all. So these are common design errors people make. So proper image and text contrast. And we just go to the next slide. So you can see here, text on the colored background. So you can't expect me to use a colored background. Like, you see this colored background here and using this shade of color here. You see, so this purple is really dark and the color is not standing out. So you mean, like I said earlier, make your text stand out of your background or whatever you're doing, so that I can't read this particular thing clearly. Even if I go far, or if the text is really small, it's going to be really, really difficult for users to see this. But I could easily see this anywhere I go. So don't stop trying. Keep testing colors, but you should try to use fonts and colors that will make users really see what you're doing, really see the message you're passing to them. Because if I use this, I can't really see that. So that's why I use the white instead. So these are these common errors people make when they're designing and all, and even passing information to users. So like this and this now. So I'm trying to pass information of okay, maybe this is a scary movie, or yeah, that's scary free or something. But using these fonts doesn't give that feel of like, okay, this is really what I want to pass. But using this kind of fonts really gives that feeling of, okay, Walking Dead, like, okay, it's going to be something scary. Yeah, exactly, that feeling of, okay, this is something scary. I know. So now, all these same things all come together. Like in earlier, like, I think when the internet just came out, this was the way people really aligned their websites, like text, and all, maybe pictures. I know they were not really pictures then, but versus the new way we design our UI. You come to websites and let me take for example Medium now. If you open your Medium, like where you write articles and blogs and all, you could first start with the heading, like the text title. You could see boldly written. So whenever you come to the website the first time, the first thing you see is the title. The first thing you're passing to users is the title. So the first thing they're saying is that title. They don't say any other thing else before they go down to see the rest, the body, and all. But earlier, when internet just came out, so you could everything was just on a straight line. You could just read. But now, we've now reorganized everything, and we could have your whenever I come to this, the first thing I see is my heading. Then I see the sub. Then I see the sub title, then pictures and all. All right, so let me try something. Let me quickly try something here and see how many of you could. Let me see what you look at. So now, me looking at this design, the first thing I'm looking at is this. My eyes come to this place first, then I look at this place, then before I could see this information here. So you building a UI, or sorry, you designing your UI. I'm really sorry. You designing your UI, you should know what information you're passing at first. What you want to pass at first, what you want them to see, which particular information is standing out from other information. If you take example, I could go back to my previous slides. Like I had to make where I said maybe the place where I wrote what is UI and UX. Like the UI and UX stood out of the rest of the text. So if I'm going to pass information to my user, like from UI or whatever, I should be able to make certain information stand out, whatever I want to see, instead of me just putting everything in a plain text. Like if there's, okay, let me say for example the name of the website. Okay, let me see if I'm saying name of my website is DSC FUD. If I want the DSC FUD, like if I really want to pass information to this, okay, this is the main information. This is what I want to pass. You should try to make that particular text stand out and know the information you're passing to user and all. Or let me say, if you're going through a blog post, you could see the text, the header. The text header is really larger than the body, the subtitle, and everything else from the rest. So that's all I could share right now for typography and colors. So now so how do you get started? How do you get started on UI UX design? So first things first, figure out the skill you already have, your strengths, the strength, and how you could how they play into UI UX design. So, like I said, if you're a graphic design, you should if graphic designer rather, I'm really sorry, you should know the existing skill you have and know how they could relate to how you could use them in UI UX design, not just saying, okay, even if you don't have a skill, like you don't have an existing skill or something, you don't have an existing skill, you could still do your UI UX. But let me say, okay, you already started graphic design, or I do animations or whatever skill you're doing. So first of all, you look at how, okay, those things could relate to UI design. Okay, so can I start this way, or should I start reading books, or should I try designing something myself? So those are the major things you should look at first. You should really look at before you just jump into UI UX design. You should look at what you already have, how those things can help you, because you really need to have passion for it first, because you can't just, if you just start okay, you just say, okay, I just want to try something, you just try it once, you stop it, you won't really do it again. Like you will really have time to be consistent and all on it. So make a plan and learn design fundamentals. So you really need to learn the fundamentals of colors, typography, when to use the right fonts, knowing how to attract users. Exactly, like I said, using the right colors and fonts, know when to use the right colors, reading books, and just knowing basically just the fundamentals. But I spoke about that at the intro to this section, but you could still read more. I would towards the end of my slide, I'll share some resources on books and maybe some books and website where you could get resources and improve your skills or get started as a UI UX designer. So join communities. This really helped me. Reach out to other designers and people in the community. So one good community I know of is Tech Twitter. Like there are a lot of designers there on Twitter. And a lot of designers there on Twitter that could help you using Figma, using whatever tool it might be. So just go out there, watch, look at designs. If you have issues in your designs, you can ask questions as well. Don't be scared or say, okay, they won't reply my DMs. Keep it. You know what you want, so just keep hitting there. Go to their comment section, comment. But the key thing is don't stop trying. Always try, always design, and people will correct you out there. Make sure you always post the design. Don't just okay, just design and just keep it to yourself. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is nice. Don't always compliment your design yourself. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I tried, I did this. Show it to people out there. Let them show you the faults in those designs so you can improve them and make corrections when next you're designing or something. So another thing is attempting daily UI UX challenges. I started off with this, like I could just open my phone, I'll go to my settings page, or I'll look at my timer and I'll try to design it, make it better. So those are things that can really help you. If you don't know what to design at start, do daily UI UX challenge. Like just every day you could just okay pick up something to redesign. Maybe you could see, okay, maybe my banking app is not really nice. Maybe you could just look at the homepage and try to redesign it. But first of all, remember, you have to, if I go back to the previous slide, remember I said learn the fundamentals of UI UX design. So knowing colors, typography, and everything. So now you could implement them into daily UI UX challenges. So try to design maybe your settings. Like I said, you could design your settings. Maybe you go through you go through your home screen and look for apps that maybe you could just redesign. Maybe you could add touches to that will be really nice. Then okay, another thing is staying up to date with design news and trends. So there are times when there's a time when this rounded button was trending. Like we're not when rounded buttons were trending and all. Like okay, everybody's using rounded button on their UI. Know when to use like there's some design patterns that some design that are actually outdated. Like me using this rectangular button. Like now everybody's adding curve to their buttons and even edit text fields and all. So even neomorphism, there's it's a actually they said it was going to be rampant this 2020. Yeah, just in 2021 everybody's using neomorphism and now it's glassmorphism. So it's just this making your UI look like glass, like making your UI look as if it's in a glass, like in a glass form or something. So that's classmorphism. So all those things are just design trends and more are yet to come. As I said, join communities that are going to help you. You could see what's happening. Try to be up to date whatever you're doing. Make sure you post. Always try to post what you're doing and look at what other designers out there are doing. Ask if it's font. Always ask. Talk ask, okay, please, can I get this font? Okay, which font do you use here? Okay, icons. Okay, can I get icons? Where can I get icons? They'll always share. You'll always share. Don't just keep your ideas to yourself or your designs to yourself. It will really help you. You won't should I say you won't really learn a lot and you really achieve a lot. So another thing is reading books. Try to read books. Like I wasn't really a fan of books before. I always watch loving tutorials like YouTube video. But if what works for you is best is okay. If you love watching tutorials, it's cool. Watch your tutorials, YouTube or whatever course you're taking, it's video. But there are some certain books that books people have written like very really I emphasize on really good books like designers have written. A lot of designers have written. You should really learn to read those books, even articles most times. Even as a developer, I really advise you, like they say, okay, developers most times you should try to stick with reading so we could get used to reading documentation because you can't expect whoever is building a library or whatever to make a video. So that aside though, I'm just trying to bring development into your design. So I really advise reading books, reading more of books, know what other if you learn the fundamentals, you get books, you get videos as well. You get videos as well. So whatever works for you is best. So now I'm going to talk about common tools for UI UX design. So we have Adobe XD, there's Marvel, there's Figma, there's Sketch, there's Vision Studio. So I actually started off with Adobe XD, but then it was free. I think Adobe XD is no longer free. Um, yeah, I think Adobe XD is no longer free. That's why some people actually run away from Adobe XD now. But um, there is always this argument going on online, like which you always feel, okay, which one should I start off with? Which one is best? Which one should I, okay, which one which one will help me be more productive and all? You can start with Adobe XD, you can start with Figma, you can start with whatever tool you want, but for those, okay, for those that are trying to, okay, even if you don't have data, Adobe XD will really stress you installing it, doing this one, setting it up. I think it's, I don't know if it's free, but if you can get the paid version or get the crack or whatever, it's still cool, but it's not as flexible as Figma. I've been using Figma for a while, and I started with Adobe XD, but me using Figma now. Now I know, okay, Adobe XD, Figma is more flexible. I can do a lot of things with Figma than I did with Adobe XD. So starting off, you could start with Figma. It's user friendly. It's nice. You could basically do anything you want to do with it. So I really recommend you start with Figma or start with Marvel as well, or Sketch, whatever tool you want to. You really find them friendly to start with. All right. So these are resources. These are resources. Sorry. Yeah, these are resources I kept, and so there's this extension on Chrome tab. Let me, for example, you're going through a website, and you find the fonts, you find the font that you really like, that they use on the website, and you don't know how to get a font, and or you don't know, okay, you can contact the designers and start asking, okay, how did you get this font? So there's a very, very beautiful extension already built. It's called Word Font. I think, I don't know how I share this, but maybe at the end of this of my presentation, I'll just share this. I'll share the links on the comment section so you all can check it out. So this word font helps you, whatever website you are on, you can easily check the fonts used on that website or that web page. Yeah, exactly. I'll use the keyword web page. Sorry, excuse me, web page. So yeah, so you can easily check the fonts used on that web page. This is this is it here. This is a tool here. So it's just an extension on your Chrome tab. You can add it. You can add it to your Chrome extension. So another tool I use very well is freepik.com. Like, I use it to get pictures or vector um like vector pictures or things or whatever, icons, with icons design or whatever. Let me see there's a flower. Like, I really need a flower in my design. I don't really have to go and start looking for flower everywhere. I don't have to go and start redesigning my flower or going to Google to search for flower. They're going to give me really, really bad quality flowers and all. So I could really come here and just download the flower and use a particular flower or that part of that flower I want. Just basically anything. You could search for anything, and some of them actually paid. They are premium, but there are free stuffs here you could get as well. So another tool. Okay, I'll just skip this for now. I'll come back to this and come back to this book. This is a really good book. So another tool here is Colorzilla. It's a Chrome extension to assist you get colors from any particular web page you want. Just like how you use what I talk about the fonts, like getting fonts from a particular website. So you could actually get any color at all from a particular web page or wherever you are. Let me quickly show you an example. Let me just I'm just going to use a Chrome extension here. I already have it installed. So all you do is install it and just pick out. So I don't know if you can still see my screen, like my mouse hovering over things, and if I click on anything, it's going to bring out that particular color for me. So you can see it generates this color for me. Even if I click on it, I'll just have to go to the extension and click on it again. And while I hover through things, the color brings out colors for me and all. All right, so that is that. Let me not waste much time on that. So another really, 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 really great website I have here is this UXL. it helps you build your design eye. They give you UI, like you could pick between them, which one is best, which one is okay. Like let me see, Excel. Yeah, Excel.com. All right. So this website helps you build your design knowledge, like your design eye, so you know, okay, which which one is good. Maybe just basic sign up, just sign up and share this tab instead. I'll just share the right tab. Sorry. So now, this UXL is a very, very great website. Like I said, build your design eye most especially. So you could start any course. You could just sorry, let me quickly just play now. So you could start off with any let me just yeah any game at all. They're like, just like quiz where you could test which is which. So they'll give you two screens, like you see, for example, this which extension notifies the font of the website. All right, so you see what font here and this. So if I click this, it's fantastic, and I'll go to next. It just basically help you build your design skills and knowledge, and or just help you improve your skills and know when to where text stand out. Like basically everything about UI UX design I explained earlier, you go through, like you experience them there on the website, and they help you build your knowledge and all. So I'm going to talk about this book. This Refactoring UI, it's a very, very good book for UI UX. I'm going to share the book. I don't know, it's on my. I think I'll share the link in the comment section. I'll share the link in the comment section so that whoever needs the book could just download it. Just check it out and download it. It's a very, very good book that will still help you in your UI UX journey and all. All right. So I have this really fun quote from Steve Jobs. Oh my God, I didn't spell the name well. Steve Jobs said, "This design is not just what it looks like and feel, but design is just how it works." So it's not just the look and it's how user really interacts with that design, how it works. Like, okay, if I click this is going to happen. Okay, will this stress me? Can my hand reach out to this button? Like putting let me see your drawer, this your navigation. Know where to put it. Okay, not just placing it anywhere. Or like how user can really interact with those UIs and things. Like hope just making things not stressing the user and all. All right. Thank you very much. I think I've come to the end of my slide. I think that's all I have for today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can always ask me or reach out to me on Twitter or WhatsApp. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, NK. Yeah, so yeah, we are kind of coming to the end of the session, but there's still time for question. So if you have any question, you can easily drop them in the chats, and the speaker can easily respond to your questions. And I think, NK, you should also try to post those the links in the slides. You should try to copy and paste them in the chat so they'll be able to get access to those resources.
All right, I'll do that now.
Yeah. So while it does that, you can ask questions, and from my end too, I'll also try to post some links in the chat that will help you get started on your journey to become a UI UX designer. So you can stay tuned, check out the links in the chats. You can copy them somewhere. And just so you know, this session is recorded. So um, we'll also try as much as possible to add those links to the description of the video on YouTube. So if you want to get access to them, you can easily go to YouTube, search for DSC Unilorin, and you'll be able to get access to all the videos of all the recordings of the sessions that um we've been checking out. So the course for product design, that course is actually free. So you can check out Udacity. The course is about, I'm not sure the number of hours the course is, but it will actually help you get started very easily with product design, which is actually familiar, similar to UI UX design also. So if no one has any question, there's still a little bit of time for you to ask your question, copy the links in the chats, and maybe we can round up as soon as possible. Okay, since there are no other questions and we are done with the session, I think it's great to say a big thank you to everyone, most especially our speaker for coming to this session to give us or to show us how anyone can get started in UI UX. So some of these resources, we are currently working on a platform. I talked about it yesterday, the platform where you be able to access most of these resources, download them, and use them for your own good. We're also planning to start some physical sessions that will help beginners or intermediates to get started easily. So we basically assign mentors for you that will help you on this journey. So in the community, we have a couple of people that are already experts. People like NK is also someone that is willing to assist you anytime you have any issues. So you can reach out to him on Twitter, and he'll be able to respond easily. So thank you everyone for joining this call, and I wish everyone a very blessed Friday and a happy weekend in advance.